Just to say, this was completely and utterly covered by evergreen trees until about 10, 12 years ago. And you couldn't see any of this. You wouldn't have any view at all. You'd just be walking through channels, dark channels of trees. And now all this is revealed.
And welcome back. Today we're in Caerau. The very name evokes castles. Crucial part of the Welsh castle defensive system protecting Glamorgan. Sadly covered by trees. For many years you couldn't see a thing. They cut the trees down. Suddenly the forts reappear. The trenches, the moats, the whole thing is fantastic. This is just part of the network we're walking around. So join us on this tour to see the real centre of the ancient fortress Glamorgan. Right, hello. Before we start the walk, I'm just going to give you an idea of where we are and just put things in a bit of context with the area. So obviously here we are on Google Earth. I'm down the bottom so you can see above me what I've typed, alright? So this is Wales. There's the Severn into England this side. And the place, if you look at the top above me, it's Caerau. So it's Caerau. My stag. You can see my stag there. Do the magic floating in thing. So it's like you're going to smash into the mountains, but it does stop. Alright, now I have to say first of all, this is not my home valley as it were, but this, the Llinvi Valley, I think is one of the most beautiful places you'll find anywhere on earth. All the way down to the bottom is just stunningly beautiful, okay? So, let's just look at this bigger picture first. Literally the bigger picture. So, if you don't know Wales, there's Swansea, quite famous. Porthcawl, where everyone goes to go for their holidays. Now, so this is the key bit. This is the long beach here, where we're looking at Monethinas and places like that. So what we're talking about possibilities is invasions coming across the Severn. With this being a big, long, very difficult to defend point. Because if you remember, the rest of the coast, mostly cliffs, very difficult to land, apart from in the estuaries, which are well guarded by forts. So if you want to land, you have to go around all those. This is your best landing point. Possible landing place for the Battle of Baden could be Jersey Marine, as it's called, up the Swansea way. Here, of course, you've got Port Talbot, and there's those massive mountains we go up to. So before I talk for too long. But anyway, so John pictures here as well. We'll talk more about this when we get nearer on the walk. So there's my stag. Further up the Llinvi Valley, you've got this place called Caerau, which is an interesting name because the name implies it should have a castle there, or castles, or it's an important castle, okay? But John Pichula's always lived very nearby, and Rob Lego, you know, for the channel, he's brought up from Caerau. He's a Caerau boy. Never understood this name until 8 or 9 years ago. For some reason, he had to cut all the trees down on this particular hill, and suddenly it's all revealed. You can see, as we'll see, the moat around the bottom and the big trench. You can see the ridges, and then you'll see what a proper hill fort or a defensive position looks like. This is why it's a joke when you hear so many other things called Norman castles, whatever. We show what a castle looks like, a hill castle. So what we're looking at is this hill here. This is the centre of fortress system. And to get to it, the easiest way to do, I mean, if you're Lego, you probably just leap over the trees and bushes and up over there. The easiest way to do it is to drive up to Caerau. Interesting name in itself, Acre of the Cross. So if we zoom in, look at this, this is great, this Google Earth. Go on, give us the name. Yes, there we go, Blaen Caerau or Caerau Club. Just go to the first right and you can park in here as a car park. Alright, so that's your park, and then all you got to do is got this path, which goes straight up the hill. You can work out a kind of route to get there, and you got this really ugly point to aim for, which is the big transmitter, right? And the views you see, oh, this is quite good actually from above like this. Because you get an idea of the overall shape of it, and what you got then is bits sticking out with sub-forts on them, stuff like that. And then we've got, hang on a second, don't move around too much. So you come up the walk, and then you've got the British trackway going all the way down there. And if you look at the geography, this is sort of the way in. And this area here, we're going to have, oh, hang on, make sure I get this right, is towards Baden, where the Battle of Baden would have been. So this area is very, very important strategically. And right in the middle is Caerau, the big castles, the forts. So we're going to be going up there, looking at this one. Then we're going to follow the ancient British trackway down and look at the further ones sticking out down here and here. And do another video about the trackway. And then we're going to come to the other fort, which I think is this one overlooking Caerau. So you see all that in the video. So some spectacular views. And you can see what it looks like. We've got two brilliant local guides, Rob and John. I'm going to show me and Tim and everyone watching around this place and give some really interesting insights. So hope you enjoy that.
Okay, this is Viewpoints in Caerau. This is the highest point of the fort system on this ridge. And there's trenches around the front, which we're going to go and have a look at now. And then we'll look further down and look at the promontory forts then that sort of support it.
Right, so here we are at the trig point at the top of the hill. It's not too bad a climb, it's pretty much straight up. And the views are fantastic. I mean, I think these views are, the Llinvi Valley and these areas, the most beautiful of all, really. Amazing. So what exactly are we looking at here, Rob? And how does it tie in with the castle?
Oh, well, this would be the main, this is the main castle here where we're standing on now. And you've got a huge trench dug out of the rock that goes right around the front of the hill, facing south. And then it seems like this entire mountain was fortified, because you've got one over there which is Foel Penacastelf, the bare promontory fort, and then to the north, just down there, if you can focus on that, is plain old Penacastelf. So that's another promontory fort, both of which can service this fort, if you know what I mean, and signal in, and they could basically run all over this hill and defend it, defend the area.
Yeah, if you were looking across from this castle side down the Llinvi Valley, on the far end of the valley you can see the tree line of the far end of Maes Caerau. It's where the battle site would have been on Mynydd Baden.
Yeah, this is Glencorrwg. So this is the valley to the north of Maesteg and the Caerau fort mountain. And this apparently was where the King Corrwg of 120 AD resided, or certainly may have been buried. So there's potential burial mounds and things up there to look at as well. That's right, and you've got Caerau, which is the village down below, which is like convergence of two rivers. So you've got the Avon and the whatever that river is. I'm assuming it's the Corrwg, but they're named after him perhaps. And then you've got the main Avon River, which goes down all the way to Port Talbot then. You can also see as well the in the distance there, the bare hill, which sits right above the village of Carmarthen. That was like these, completely covered in evergreens. Now you can see the top, and this is obviously a beacon point for this area, because you can't see Mynydd Dinas, which is right next to it on the coast, and that's the next one there, which is higher again. So you've got a western beacon point and possibly an eastern one just behind.
This is a ditch. This is an entrenchment. When we look at other places like the core at Llanilid and places like that, and people say they're defensive castles or Ystrad Owen, absolute rubbish. This is a defensive fortress. I mean,
best part of 100-foot drop.
It's got to be 100 foot from top to bottom, isn't it?
80 to 100 foot.
And it's very steep. It's been carved out of rock. I mean, this is a proper defence. You can still see signs of the trenches.
It looks like this section. You just see the corner there as it comes around. This looks more, you know, earth and rock. And then they've had to cut through the rock on the steep section there in front. And you've got two trenches there then. So
yeah, that'd be properly intimidating, wouldn't it? John was just pointing out that, what are you saying, John? The trench goes outside that hill and across, or just the one?
No, it seems to cut across here, and there's like a I don't know whether that would be part of the like a lower Bailey or something on that section, but there, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it does seem to be almost like another ridge in front, running along the front, but there. Yeah, and you could just see along the front ridge there might be signs of another one. What might have been a bit lost now, like, do you know what I mean? Another ring, I'm not sure.
Oh, further down, yes.
Yeah,
I'm with you now.
especially you can see it over there, like where near Rob. You can
Covered under the ferns and stuff.
Yeah, you can see there's a slight, you know what I mean, like a dip.
Yeah.
But whether that's part of the
It goes
original.
concentric. I mean, how big do you want to go? I mean, you've got the edge of the hill itself then, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's defence upon defence upon defence, isn't it?
and it's got a good sight line straight across to a bulwark high on the far mountain.
Bulwark High.
It's the big fort up on Margam. So
Right.
it's like
Getting
from
my
one.
bearings now. So Margam and Manedinas is that way, yeah?
Yeah, Manedinas is over
Sorry,
there.
Manedinas that way. Okay, yeah.
You got at the top of Margam Mountain is that peak over there in the distance, and then the bulwark high is like the big fort up on that hill, and that's on the hill facing us, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of pointing straight up here, really.
And that's the battlefield over there.
And then you got the battlefield, so it's got a good sight line straight across the whole length of the valley.
Yeah.
And the battlefield on those, say where the row of
Yeah.
trees is again, yeah, yeah.
Because if they put the fort on Mynydd Baden, they wouldn't be able to see this fort from there. Do you know what I mean? It's a direct sight line. Because you can only see the side of Mynydd Baden from here.
Yeah.
Whereas if from there, they can fire a message round that corner, do you know what I mean? This hill almost cuts out.
Right, so
direct
that would be
sight line.
a sequence of communications.
Yeah, there's like two valleys going, there's one valley going down that way behind Garnwen mountain here.
Yep.
And then there's another, the rest of the Llynfi goes off around the Pwllheuch mountain here. So the fort there is bang opposite in the gap where you can see, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep,
So you
okay.
can send it to there and then they can send it out that way, then two messages to the
it's
side.
amazing, yeah. And I didn't realise there's a tower on that one as well, on that hill, which links down the valley, you were saying, with Bryn. So you've got from Port Talbot all the way up the Avon, all the way up the Bryn Valley to Mynydd Baden. It's all linked. You can send messages anywhere. Amazing, really, isn't it?
And you got
Think about
fortified
it.
strong points, I suppose, then, haven't you?
Yeah.
And
Just to say, this was completely and utterly covered by evergreen trees until about 10, 12 years ago. And you couldn't see any of this. You wouldn't have any view at all. You'd just be walking through channels, dark channels of trees. And now all this is revealed. And these trees have been here, what, 50, 60 years? Since the 50s, maybe more. So now it's suddenly revealed.
as you can see, you got there's like a pretty extensive trench running along the, the east side of the main castle site. And then it would have run most of the way up around this side, as you can see, but this section here has been filled at a later date where people have got access to the top of the hill, I think. This section of the valley and running down the Avon Valley there was all part of the Lords of the Avon's land up until very late, later date, you know what I mean? So that was well after the 1066, and I think it was even up to the 1400s or 1500s.
That's over to Treorchy, the Bulch.
Well, I might go back that way. Some stunning views up there.
Yeah.
On a day like
It's
this.
probably quicker for you.
Yeah, I think it's much longer by the M4, yeah.
You'll be in Treorchy in 10 minutes.
And then another week or two I'll get out again.
Not if I see you first.
That mountain over there is Mynydd Caerau. Mynydd Caerau. But the weird
That's
thing
funny. You
is,
think that's where the castles would be?
that's where
wouldn't
you'd think that the castle would be. But that's where the burial mounds are. There's cairns, there's a lot of cairns, tumuluses up on top, innit? John was telling me about there was some fort up on the main mountain of what we call Pwllheuch, which is the highest mountain in my stag. And on the front end of it was some fort.
Yeah, there was like a slope called Tor Cerrig or something like that, like a hill of stones. It's like a little passway up onto the top of the mountain, and there's this reference to this fort being up behind Tor Cerrig. So it's like
Is that what you call the Lost Fort, is it? Or?
yeah.
Was that Norman times as well?
I think it was something to do with the Normans, that was, I think, do you know what I mean? But whether it was there, I mean, it highly likely it was there before.
But there's tons and tons of cut stone up there as well. Tons. All on the front of this mountain.
Yeah.
And they're all cut to size, manageable size. And it's just strewn all over the front of the hill.
Oh, right, that's going to look at that, don't we?
That's a bit of a climb, that is, mate.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be alright.
That's effort, that one, yeah.
For a walk.
What's that one called?
There's nothing I can find on the top of that.
Yeah.
You'd think it's a perfect spot for a castle, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, you got it. It's just perfect.
And you got the good old evergreens there.
Yeah. But you can't see anything. I can't find anything top on the top. It seems to be more of a burial area further back.
Yeah.
About say half a mile to a mile further back at the top of Caerau and all on the hills behind. But it does look impressive, that. I mean, I would build one up on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see that little rise on that grassy hill,
Oh yes,
like a nipple on top kind of thing. I don't know
Try
if I
and
can say
think
that
of
word.
just did.
But that possibly could be another beacon point to send over to the Rhondda, because when you get up on top of the bulk and you look back, you can see that hill sort of going down below you.
Right.
So you could potentially have a link all the way from Port Talbot all the way to the Rhondda, and then you go down to the Cardiff and the Newport forts. You can get a signal pretty quickly.
So where are we going now?
We're just going to go down the western side of the ridge now. So it's a ridge of what seems to be possibly a ridge of forts. You've got this main one, and then you've got one at the end and one to the north guarding the pass of the Avon. So we'll have a look at what you can see from those forts as well. And we're going to walk there.
Yeah, so here's the ridge, heading westish. Oh, isn't it just stunning? It's beautiful. And see how the forts all link up, and it's great. I mean, it's all here. It's why I get more and more frustrated. People say, oh, we're just talking nonsense, make stuff up. It's not in the history books. Why aren't the academic experts talking about it? Why isn't it on the TV? Well, here we are. I asked the same question in reply. Because it's great, and we should be making more of this. And it's, oh hey, apart from when you fall over, it's pretty healthy activity. It's this would be one of the great walks. Whichever way you look, you're going to get stunning views. That way back towards my stake. And this one then, as described, a valley that goes back round to Caerau, which is there. I mean, what a wonderful landscape. You can imagine trying to attack through these valleys. As John was saying, they're so deep. The V, you know, it's the sharp valleys, very difficult. And absolutely beautiful. Oh, just noticed, you haven't done this for a while. We got the green and white. It's Welsh flag weather.
My hen Lord Fern had I.
Ah dear, if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
When I came up here with John last time, he was saying that he was showing this British trackway, and you get an idea then that people would have moved around and been much more active on the mountain tops then. Like today we live down in the valleys, and they just sort of, you think, oh, I'm not going up there, but back then it would have been important, wouldn't it? Like you.
Because once again, oh, they're planting these bloody things up here. Who does it? Why do they do it? It's not even enough for like a commercial thing. Oh, unless it goes all the way down the other side. I think let's have a scramble around. Who keeps doing this? It's hardly any soil. It's not suitable for trees anyway. When they become big, they become dangerous. They leave the cuttings on the floor to make fire hazards. Oh, look, oh my god, there's loads of them. So we'll come up to see this area, enjoy these trackways. You can see the British trackway going all the way up the hill there. Come up soon, because there's another bit of Britain's history that's bloody soon going to be hidden. You can see what it looks like after it's been farmed, because this isn't some environmental thing. Don't fall for that. The trees get ground up into this horrible paste which is held together by resins and glues. You can't burn it, you can't dispose of it. And the land looks like that when it's been left. All trace of any history destroyed, obviously. Absolute eyesore and disgusting. And then the process starts again with the new trees planted. It's just the worst kind of slash and burn farming, and it's taking place right now in Wales and no doubt across England. So We're on the site of the end fort now. What would you call that again?
This is Foil Pentecastle, so this is the bare kind of end promontory fort, and the big one is up there. So you've got the ridge line of the forts going west to east, and then we're going to head down to the north side in the Avon, and it's just called Pentecastle.
Just to give a quick idea of how high up we are here. I mean, this would be formidable. This whole area would be formidable. So there's down, you see the tops of the houses all the way down there. We'd love to know what's over these forests. Well, Rob's saying there's some cairns, and I know John's been up there, but as you see, it's very hard to tell with the trees. Because the area where we've just been walking, you can see even more now, look. I mean, it's very difficult to tell how much of that is trenches and how much is whatever from other works. But once the trees are there, you can't see a thing. And you can see them starting to come back again. What time we got here and what's worth visiting?
Yeah, this is a village of Caerau now. It's where the two rivers meet, where it comes down from Blaen Gwynfi and the river coming down from Glencorrwg meet there's like a little tower down there, and it meets just behind there. And if you can notice down there, there's like that green patch of fields. Just in front of that is the old railway station, was like a pub today kind of thing. And that's like a good starting spot if we ever want to take your bikes and cycle down the Avon Valley, because the old railway line now is a cycle track all the way down to the whole valley, all the way down to Talbot. So it makes a nice ride like on the bike. And it's pretty level as well, so if you're not, you know what I mean, doing like big hills or anything like that, you can
cool.
just take that.
There's our Wales tourist board bit. Right, so there's the other fort site. Not very big, but by goodness, it's impressive, isn't it? Look at the steepness of those sides. You can imagine a great outpost there, looking up and down the valley, blocking the path. Small garrison, I'd imagine. And over the far side, people waiting to see us. Hello! It's been a few miles, nice walk though, not a particularly tough one. And hopefully it's not too far back to the cars then. Great thing to remember when you're walking on up to hill forts is the hard bit is getting up there when you're fresh. You're getting a bit tired, that's alright, because you're walking down again at the end, and that's the easy bit. That's fun, walking down hills. Up there. But even down here you can see this amazing view. Whoa! I just sunk into the... Longer than it looks, this grass. You can see the amazing view down here. Ah, this usual abuse of our resources. You can see again another hill being destroyed, ancient paths being destroyed. It's nonsense. There's nothing environmental about that. Not environmentally good anyway. As the hills nestle gently in the wind turbines. Ah, this is what a Welsh hill should look like. This is what I was brought up playing in, these ferns. Wonderful deep waist high ferns. Great fun, hiding them, make dens out of them. Natural habitat and incredibly ancient. All this gets destroyed as well, of course. Anyway, let's get back to the fortress system. We'll see now. Hey, what a perfect viewpoint for keeping an eye on this little valley here. I'm on the stone at the top of the fort. So there's that's towards the main fort site we were up earlier. The trackway will be over the far side of that, you lead to the other ones. Absolutely amazing. And then, rather confusingly now, just to mess everything up, we've got these forestry commission paths and roads everywhere. So it gets more and more difficult to work out what the ancient paths and what a part of the wrecking of the environment is taking place. First we had the coal mines and the iron, now we've got this now. Enjoy the views over there while you can, and try and spot anything, so you'll see a whole forest being planted. So repeat the whole cycle again. And up there looks very interesting, before it's too late. And unfortunately for a lot of the places you want to see, it already is too late. It's the middle of July and it was sunny and hot when we came up. It's gone a little bit chilly, the wind's coming in. The locals tell me we're going to be fine. To me it looks like it's going to hammer down. So if I'm wet, it's their fault, right? We'll see. Now I can see Rob talking there. I want to take a sheer drop on that side.
Do you want to come closer, Ross?
Yeah, that's close enough, thanks. I'm not good on sheer drops. Alright, I've been a brave then, there we go. Yeah, it's pretty steep, you don't want to fall down there, really, do you? It'll be pretty hard work trying to attack your way up there. Someone's chucking stones at you, of which there is no shortage. Marvellous.
It seems to stick out into the valley as well.
It does stick out, doesn't it? It blocks the valley effectively, doesn't it? It blocks that one, it blocks that one, and the one behind us that way.
Yeah, because most of the side valleys from here now are behind where this fort would guard. Do you know what I mean, kind of thing? Because you've got the Ponte de Ven area further down guarded by those forts, but once you pass here, you've got the Caerau and Craig valleys and things going off on the side as well. So it seems to be right in front of them, do you know what I mean? So nobody can get past me without getting past this, really.
So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Discovering more and more about this Fortress Glamorgan as Wilson and Blackett describe it. And you can see other videos. I'll put some links up. You can see the little crosses here represent forts on the south coast. So we talked a bit about this area up in the east side. So what we've done here, you see the River Ogmore there. We're actually moving west to it. Adding to the work is the idea. And the research continues. So please look out for more Britain's Hidden History videos. Join the Facebook group. Do your own research as well, please. And let us know where we should go next. And how we keep adding to this ever more interesting and detailed map of how South Wales defended. It's all part of our history, our rich history, which for some bizarre reason is being completely hidden. Heddwch.
And these are wonderful windberries which the ancient Britons would forage for to create beautiful pies on their open fires. And my wife is going to make one today.
Not with those ones.
No, with those.
Oh, these are delicious. They like taste like blackberries, only better, really.
Oh, the windbreeze, is it?
Like a really tasty blackberry.
Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed that and found it informative. Britain's Hidden History Group has so much more going on our YouTube channel. The one you're watching now, there's a live stream, 8 o'clock UK time every Sunday. We speak to people like Wilson and Blackett, reprint their old books and help produce new ones. We go researching to the tops of mountains, all the way down to the bottoms of caves. Busily recording the books, you can listen to them as well, and looking at mysteries and working out what we're not being taught in schools and preserving it, because the physical and written evidence is rapidly disappearing. You can also find out how to read ancient writing and hieroglyphs using the Welsh language. It's amazing. There's a Facebook group where this is being discussed. Along with a website, you can buy the books and help us. Also, as you can see, there's now a Patreon page where just a few pounds a month will make all the difference in trying to keep the project going and preserve this history for future generations, and also to find out for ourselves what is going on, what is Britain's hidden history. So until the next time, Heddwch!